All right. Do we go by Chef Mike?
I guess Mike.
Mike?
I would go by. Yeah.
I guess first off, thank you for bringing the pizzas over. Or no, not pizzas.
That's right.
Pinzas.
Pinza. Yeah,
Pinza.
yeah, there you go.
And you were telling us off air about how you brought in someone from Italy to do these.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually bring it.
Well, let's hear it.
Yeah, no. So pinza, it's a very like a old school Roman style of pizza. It's kind of like what pizza was before pizza was pizza, if that makes any sense. So it's something that I saw when I was in Rome, and I was like, this is cool. I want to do it. So I opened this restaurant, Amano Trattoria, if you're, the manja cakes in the back. There you go. So, I was opening it. I was like, this is my opportunity here to do pizza. So I just started playing around with the dough. I started making it, and I put up an ad for a pizza guy, and Francesco showed up, and he was like, oh, you're trying to make pizza? And I showed him what I was doing, and he's like, yeah, I'll show you what's up.
So he just looked at you, he was like, nah, man, you got it all wrong.
Yeah. He was like, I don't know what you're trying to do here.
I can just picture like an Italian like pizzaiolo kind of coming in.
Yeah.
And just be like, no, Mike, no, stop. Stop right now.
Yeah, no, he was like, you gotta cut this out.
Well, what's his I guess what's the Italian kick on it or spin on it? What makes it different than what you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing, so I kind of just did my research to find out, and some people put soy and rice flour and these things in it that make it different. And then talking to him, the biggest part of the dough that's different is one, the water content. So it's almost 90% hydration in the dough, which means 90% of the dough is water, which gives it that really light flakiness, but it's also soft. And then the maturation process, so the dough's fermented for 48 hours, and then the fact that we use all natural yeast, that's kind of what brings it together. And then the shape and the way that it's baked is really what makes it stand out from a traditional Napolitana style. Yeah.
How is it what's the difference? How is it baked though? Is it
so it's actually baked twice. So pretty much all Roman style pizza, if you've been to a pizza palla, the trays where they're cutting it and weighing it, they're always baked twice.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
This is a good. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. This is gonna be a good lesson on pizza, because I don't know. I don't like all this stuff. I find it so fascinating. I don't actually know. I know the kind of what the differences look like and stuff, but I never knew they baked it twice.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah. So it's you guys had the mushroom and the prosciutto. So the mushroom, we do a base of fior di latte and thinly sliced potatoes. We bake that off first, and then to order, we add a taleggio cream and roasted mushrooms and stuff like that. Oh. So you're getting it twice baked, so you get this really nice crunchy. It's just.
That was crazy. I've never I've never had something like that where it's fluffy in the middle, but it's hard, crunchy-ish on the outside, which is really different. It's a soft piece of bread. I don't want to say it's bread, it's not bread, but you know what I mean? Kind of feels if it's a rye, a rye bread feeling. The hard crust a little bit, 100%. Not that dense, but yeah. I've never had that before.
I mean, it's very much the way that we talk about that is it's called an open crumb. So an open crumb is when you actually cut a cross section of the dough. You see air pockets throughout. Whereas on a traditional Napolitana style, you only have an open crumb on the crust. So with this one, you basically have a crust. The whole pizza is the crust. That's where you get the crunch all the way through it, right? So
it's basically you're building on a whole crust. You're building
essentially. Yeah. So that's where you get that crispiness.
Yeah. Is this something that's new? I'll phrase this differently. Is anyone else doing this here? Because I've never seen it.
So to my knowledge, I've never seen anybody do it in Toronto. It's like that old saying, once you buy a Ford, then you see them everywhere. Kind of thing. Now somebody sent me a photo the other day. They're selling them frozen at Farm Boy.
Really?
What the? Yeah. It's crazy.
I was in Farm Boy, so I didn't.
Yeah,
but I'm glad you brought us some so we could actually taste it, because it was trying to imagine it without eating it. It'd be
it's very different.
Yeah,
totally. Very unique.
Because it's also really light too, which is nice. I probably had a full one.
Yeah.
If you think about between the two, I basically had
you
a
ate
full
the majority.
George had two small slivers, and there's less than one left out of the two. So
the mushroom one is I'm a big fan of mushroom pizzas. I know I said that before, but it's very different. Like it's different because even like I guess there's like the cream or something.
Yeah, so it's made with taleggio cheese.
It's amazing. Like honestly, amazing. It's not just saying that. We've actually, like I said to you before as well, we have had a buddy of ours, Ollie, brought pizza recently, and I think Parlor actually had it again on the weekend. I think they do a great pizza.
Totally.
But this is like very unique, and it honestly like. If it wasn't that good, I'll tell you to your face that it wasn't. But it is. That. It's it's different. Like nothing I've tried. And it's amazing.
You would tell him to his face if you didn't like it.
I'd be like, maybe not like directly. But
I mean,
okay,
don't be like.
But that's the difference. Like, if I didn't,
sorry, I wouldn't say like, hey, your pizza's not good. I'd be like, this is like you would use different words. Like I'm not trying to bullshit you. I actually very much enjoyed it. Like,
but I mean, that's why we did it, right? Because there's so many people like Parlor, like Piano, like all these places that are doing really good pizza. So, we were like, this is something that's interesting that nobody does here, or maybe aside from Farm Boy, apparently.
Yeah.
But like, it's somewhere where we could like expand and show people something that's a little different than the typical. So, yeah.
Is it very popular? So, okay, what region is it?
Rome. It's from Rome, yeah.
And is it common if you go, like if I'm walking around Rome, because we've been a few times, even there, I don't think I've noticed like.
The more traditional in Rome is the trays.
Right.
This would be more like if you're in a restaurant.
Okay.
Do you know what it reminded me of? And it took me so long to really to think about this, like a focaccia sandwich almost.
Yeah.
That kind of it gets that feeling. Do you know what I'm talking?
That's what I said. Like when I first walked in, I said that.
Oh, did you?
I'm pretty sure I said it. It kind of looks like focaccia, but it's not.
I missed
that.
Like
I said, it was like the
because when you were talking about like you're like rye and this and that, I was like,
Yeah.
there's a bread that I'm thinking I couldn't. For some reason, I couldn't put my finger on it, and then it just hit me.
I think I said like focaccia flatbread. I was trying to get the words out as well, but I think that's what it reminded me of.
It's great,
but it's different though because
it's unique, right? Like that's the thing, and I love Toronto because we have so many amazing restaurants here.
God,
like our group chat, we're starting to go boys dinner once a month, and we try and do
Ricky
different
with
restaurants.
the worst takes ever about his favorite restaurants. Don't even we can't ask him because if he says he'll offend people with his.
No, I never said it was my favorite.
It's some bad taste.
I just said I liked it. There was a restaurant that I said I liked that people didn't like.
Oh boy.
Anyways,
yeah.
The name behind it, Amano.
So
I should know what that means, but I don't.
By hand. Yeah. So Amano started probably 4 years ago about now. I've always wanted to do this restaurant. I kind of worked around the city for a long time. And it was always something that I always did was make pasta by hand. It's like what I grew up doing in my nonna's basement. So we like,
Wait, so that's what you like growing up, you were always into like cooking.
Yeah, that would, I would say, be like my thing. Like Francesco takes care of the pizza for me, and he kills it. And like my thing is pasta. Like I teach pasta classes. I usually have my hands buried deep in some dough. It's my favorite thing to make, making fresh pasta. So that was kind of how it started. And we were opening up a restaurant in Union Station, and we were trying to figure out a name. And my business partner just was like, he has an Italian. He's French, from France. So a French, Italian, and a Polish person.
That's a joke. There's a joke in somewhere.
Right? But yeah, no. So he was talking.
Don't know what the joke is, but there's
you heard that for
there's
sure.
something.
Walk into a bar or a pizza shop.
Yeah. But no. So he just had an Italian buddy that used to always kind of use that phrase, and he threw it out there, and I was like, that's a great name. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
What age did you start like really getting in learning to make pasta?
So learning to make pasta, like, I don't know, maybe 7.
Wow.
I've got a lot of cousins. I'm an only child. But I've got a lot of cousins. So we would every Sunday, parents drop us off at Nana's house, and she had a little production facility in the basement, and she'd be dropping off pasta to the whole neighborhood. So
I love it. It's like one kid's mixing the
dough.
Next one's cutting them up. Next one's, what do you call it when you put it through the thing that flattens it?
Press? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting it through the, traditionally it's the mattarello.
What is it called?
The mattarello. That's like the rolling pin.
Yeah.
No, but then the actual machine is just like a sheeter.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's probably an Italian name for it, but I don't know.
I have no idea. I've only made it. I don't even know if I've made pasta. I don't think I have. No, I
it's
don't think I
fun.
have.
It's
My parents like they do it like every now and then.
Yeah.
Like my dad, like I said, it's a pretty good cook, but they've started doing it more recently. Now that like my dad's got like semi-retired, my mom's kind of retired.
Nice.
They're whipping up recipes left, right, and center.
I love
Which
it.
is amazing for when we go over family dinners because like it's like a 6-course meal every time of like different things every time. And that's
Amazing.
one thing I've always wanted to do is like make actual like proper pasta, learn the right way to make it and everything.
It's I mean, it's one of those things that like there's a few tips and tricks to make it proper, but at the end of the day, it's just so therapeutic and like you know you spend a couple hours just rolling out some pasta.
The best is when you see like I'm sure young people do this too, but like the old nonni, they're literally doing it on their kitchen counter, nothing on top, no trays, no boards, nothing. It's just crack the egg on the table. You got the flour
They're
around,
using
you start
their
making.
arm.
My grandfather actually, my mom's dad, used to make it all the time, and I remember him making gnocchi because me and my brother used to love gnocchi as kids. And then at the end, you put the little finishing touch with the fork, and you just like kind of press it a bit.
Just reminds me of The Godfather, the third one though.
The not so good one.
When they're pressing them out.
Yeah, the not so good one.
What if you had to make one type of pasta or I mean even any dish right now to impress somebody, like you like one thing, what is the best? What are you known for? What's your specialty?
I would say, I guess, like this is back before I've got I mean, even I did it with her too, but my go-to for a date would be we'd make agnolotti di zucca, which is just like a stuffed pasta made with squash.
Yeah.
In like a brown butter sauce. We use amaretti cookies and sage, so it's like you're putting cookies on pasta. It's a little sweet. It's got the nuttiness. It's kind of fun too because you're like in the kitchen making stuffed pasta.
Yeah.
It's a good one to impress.
Okay.
Do you sell it?
So
anywhere?
it's on the menu right now at the restaurant,
Okay.
but it'll be off probably in the next like month or so.
Is
It's
it
usually
seasonal, or-
yeah.
Okay, so you got a month to go try it out, people.
Exactly.
Honestly, I might have to go because that's so like to me that's bizarre. I mean, like I said before, I'll eat anything, but like a little bit of cookies on thing. That's
It's
like,
out
it's
there. It's out
different.
there. I had a buddy of mine that we used to work together at a restaurant on Harvard Street, and it's called Splendido back in the day.
I know the name.
It's now Piano.
Oh, okay.
So we were working together, and he's from Northern Italy. He came and he made it for me one time, and I was like, "You put fucking cookies on it? Can I swear?"
Yeah.
I was like, "You're putting cookies on a pasta? Like, what the hell?" And I just tasted it for the first time, and I was like, "This is bananas!" Like, it's because the cookies aren't like super sweet; they're like bitter almond. They have that like nuttiness, but a touch of sweet. It's incredible.
I gotta try it now.
Yeah, 100%. Anytime, you guys let me know.
All
I
right,
appreciate
I'm
it.
definitely
100%. Yeah. Now, I was talking to my girlfriend before, and like we've started now. Like we weren't like not going out to not go out. We just like started saying, it's a new year. Let's like get healthy. Let's like, I mean, she's super healthy, but I'm like, let's like stay in, whatever, work out all this stuff. So we haven't eaten out a lot lately, but now that like things are like back to normal, like let's get out as much as we can. So
For sure.
trying a bunch of different places. So I'm definitely gonna.
We got an
take you up on that.
invitation always.
Yeah.
George, what's your go-to?
To cook dish? Oh, somebody asked me this recently. Because who were we talking to? Yeah. Oh, I was talking to my, I was talking to my friends, the Luteners. We're eating with them. Anyways, I honestly don't know what my go-to is.
Because you cook a lot too.
Yeah, like there's nothing that I'm super good at. I'm not saying I'm good at everything. I'm like okay at like whatever. Yeah. So it depends what mood I'm in. I probably should have a signature Greek dish because I'm Greek, and I actually like. I was talking to my girlfriend about it because they asked us and she was there and she's like, "Yeah, you don't really have anything. You make a bunch of stuff." So I don't have one now, but I'm gonna be good at one, and I think
what's it gonna be?
The Greek version of it is pita. It's spanakopita essentially, but it's a different style. It's more like to honestly equate to something. It's like Roman pizza.
Love it
because it's like you make it in a big sheet. And like it's like phyllo, but it's more layered there's no like it's not wrapped. It's just like almost like I don't know. It's more crunch. It's honestly it would equate to kind of like this, like more crunchy and hard, a little bit like not burnt but really dark brown. And then the flaky on the inside. More feta cheese to spinach ratio. It's my favorite thing probably to eat. My mom's both my grandmothers were like insane. Like they were incredible at it. My dad's sister carried on the tradition and still makes it. My mom's is pretty good. Mom, sorry, like we've talked about this. Hers is like good. It's not. It's still a little thing in there, but that's what I'm gonna learn to make.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna get after. I actually I really lately have through the past maybe year, I grew up liking to cook from like a very, very, very young age. Like when I was like 7, was when I first started. Like I would sneak down in the morning, cook like bacon and eggs and bring it to my parents in bed. Like I was just like, I don't know why. I just really thought it was cool.
I love it.
But then like as I got older, I got lazier a little bit. And I still always could cook. I just got lazy and like I don't know. I would just like start cooking. I get bored while I'm cooking or get like, stop.
It's like, it's a lot, man. Like
it's
you
exhausting.
Like clean up too. And like,
I would like get drowsy while I was cooking. I'm like, oh, it's good. It's therapeutic, like a little bit to clean, to cook. But anyways, I like through the pandemic and being inside a lot. And obviously like, so my girlfriend and I met August 2020. So like right in the middle of things open and then went back to close. So like we couldn't go on dates, couldn't go to restaurants, couldn't do anything. So I was like, okay, let's just cook stuff. And that's what I like now, just cooking regularly.
You know what? That's
my story of what my story of what I'm going to be good at, not what I am good at.
The thing about cooking is
tangent.
when you're with someone, cooking is therapeutic and it's fun and you can make it exciting. When you're cooking by yourself, like so many people ask me, like, what do I cook? I'm alone. I eat meals by myself probably 90% of the week.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it's like, I don't remember the last time I fully cooked a meal.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to the store, I buy 3 heads of lettuce, 3 avocados, a ready-made chicken, and some salad toppings. And I'll have salad and chicken for 3 meals in a row.
100%.
Or I'll make like sandwiches. I prepare food. I don't actually make it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because it's like, okay, to do pasta. Pasta's easy for Italians. I got good homemade sauce.
Yeah.
So if you have good sauce, that's half the battle now.
100%.
Because you can buy decent store-made store pasta, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of places now, like our supermarkets they'll do fresh. Like it's still gonna be probably more mass produced, but it's still.
But it's still,
if you go to like your local
really
bakery,
good dry ones too.
Yeah, if you go to your local bakery, you can get good pasta. And then the thing is, if you have good sauce, that's 80% of the battle, probably, right?
For sure.
Well, the thing is, I don't like making pasta because, like, okay, so you actually have to boil the pasta, blah blah. So there's one pot, right? Yeah. Then you got to strain it. There's another thing. Then the sauce, another pot. Okay, well, I've made a mess of like 6 or 7 dishes.
And you're just eating by yourself.
My one thing. Mind you, it took me 15 minutes, 20 minutes to make, another 10 to make.
Yeah.
Like, this is annoying. But when you're with someone, it's nice. And it's funny because we used to cook all the time at Western. Well, maybe not me. Well, individually, we did.
I always cook. University, I cooked a lot,
Wait, you guys went to Western?
Yeah, we both went to Western.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. But actually, they're actually at the restaurant right now. My friends from high school all went to Western. So
we're the same age. I'm turning 32.
32, yeah. We're 90s.
Okay, so I'm 87.
Who are your buddies then?
Well, they're girls.
Okay.
Caitlin Martin, Sam Iarello.
I don't know. You'd probably Ricky knows.
Maybe if you saw him, you'd recognize
maybe
him.
I saw him.
Yeah, I'll show you after.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come on.
Ricky knows everybody in Toronto.
I can always eat more. No, I'm kidding. Can't eat more today. I had dinner before I got here, actually.
Oh, jeez.
And then I ended up eating that whole pinza.
Yeah.
Where were we before that question?
I don't know. We were talking about what's your go-to thing to make?
I don't really have one, but if I had
chicken
to pick
salad,
no, like probably chicken stir fry. But by stir fry, I mean like mushrooms and peppers.
Yeah.
Because I don't really maybe half an onion or something.
I have a question I want to ask because we have a chef here finally.
Yeah.
We have a debate. Like I'm also okay. Like for the prefaces, I'm a very I get irritable with things that I see that I don't think are necessarily proper. Proper is very subjective. Yeah. But I guess like generally accepted like etiquette or principles. Let's put it that way. So I want to ask you a question. What is like if you have a plate full of food, let's say you have a steak, salad, some veggies, and like potatoes, whatever, a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Like what is the proper or how do you eat? Like what is proper like table etiquette to appreciate food? Like will you eat them?
Yeah.
Like, will you have a piece of steak and like try the steak and then vegetables? Or will you cut the steak, take a scoop of that, push some like salad on top and like eat? Like, will you mix things together?
So in that scenario, I think you want to try everything first and then you design. Like, there's this guy in New York, he's a chef, who always says design the bite. So you like build it up and you make yourself one perfect little bite off of everything. The only thing I would say on that mix that you said is salad. Salad's got to go at the end of the meal.
Yeah,
that's very Italian way.
So
you eat salad after.
So yeah, because I grew up salad at the end.
Yeah.
But every restaurant, even Italian restaurants in the city, salad goes
always
first.
It's
so weird because in like
when
you're actually in Italy, they'll never salads your ending.
Yeah, always because it helps with digestion, right?
But I never knew that.
And it's funny that he says that, because I guess we're both technically right in that answer. Some people do it first, but I like that, designing your bite. That's what I
hate that, because I design justify Ricky. He is the worst. I've said this on this podcast before. We've been best friends since like, I don't know, 10 a decade. Yeah, and I cannot hold on. I gotta pause for a second.
But yeah, I basically mash all my food. Not all of them. Like, again, I don't do hots and colds.
I cannot stand watching the way this guy eats his food. Like, we can go to like, go to a Michelin Star restaurant, and Rick's gonna fucking like, you're scooping things together, absolutely.
I mean, in that case, I'd say like hold up.
Oh yeah, maybe. But like, the best example is Mandarin. Like, you have like,
but that's also garbage.
You have 10 different things on your plate.
I like Mandarin.
Yeah, you have like 10 different things. My favorite bite is that like last 4 or 5 bites of that plate when you've got like all those different things. It's like, I don't even know what I'm tasting at this, but it's just delicious because I designed my bite so perfectly.
There you go. Yeah. You got it.
See, it's different. Okay, like, that's in fairness. Like, if you're eating like Chinese food, nothing against Chinese food. There's good Chinese food, but if you're eating like at like a buffet or something, okay, the noodles are not handmade and like they're super like fine or whatever. Like, it's literally like boxed foods and stuff. Mm-hmm. If you go to a nice restaurant, anything like that's decently like whatever, like it's good quality. People that put care into their food like you, that appreciate their craft. The way that I've been brought up, and maybe it's because my dad was like worked in had restaurants, and like he's a big fan of like French cuisine and all that stuff. It's like the proper way is like you eat bits and pieces, like you eat it in like for what order? It is. Because historically speaking, to my knowledge, someone can fact check me if they want, but like mashing things together is like what like shepherd's pie is. Like, no disrespect to shepherd's pie, I fucking love it. Yeah. But it was like all the old crappy food you pile together, so it eliminates, like, it blends the tastes.
Yeah. There's no waste.
No, so you don't taste like, it'll be like moldy, stale, or like half eaten, and you mash it and put it in a phyllo, because then you don't realize it's shit, you feed it to peasants.
Yeah.
That's what shepherd's pie was invented, right? So like,
that's fair.
That's why I can't just, I don't know why it bugs me so much, and I shouldn't, because everyone, if you're happy, eat whatever you want. But I see it, I'm like, I hate that.
I think the big problem is like if you're having a meal that has so many different things, right? Where you go to like a fancy like Michelin star restaurant, it'll be a composed dish that's kind of meant to be eaten that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it really depends. Like if I'm eating like a steak and it's like dripping the steak juices on the potatoes, I'm
yeah,
okay
like
with
that to me is okay. But I won't cut a steak, put some potato on, and like eat it. Like that to me, I can't.
See, I don't know. I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, a steak, I'll have my little piece. Okay, the potato goes on. Maybe a small piece of asparagus too, just to top it off.
Okay, wait. So I have a different question on this thing. So let's say you got a piece of steak.
Also, I eat like I'm like 500 pounds. Like, if you just heard me eating, you'd like, this guy's 500 pounds.
It's very hard.
Even after I got my nose fixed, I still eat like I'm 500.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough listen. It's a tough listen.
Yeah.
On that same topic,
I don't know how I go on dinner dates.
So, if you have a good steak, decent steak, whatever, you go to the store, you buy like a New York strip, 16 ounce. How are you going to season it? Like, what are you going to do to it before you put it on the grill or the pan and whatever you're going to make it with?
Me?
Yeah.
I just do oil, usually just oil and then salt and pepper.
Okay, just wanted to ask because I feel like for some reason I would have taken you for a guy that like just like puts all the sauces on.
When I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not a kid. When I was in university, whatever salad dressing I had in the fridge, like
you put salad dressing on steak.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I'm salt and pepper the whole way, but I will say when I was a kid, my mom, she's Polish from Poland, there was this one thing she would make where she would take pieces of chicken and she would take zesty Italian like Kraft dressing and soak the chicken in it and then barbecue it. It was amazing.
Really?
They're like unreal.
Okay, so I'm you hate on Rick for the wrong reasons.
It was like
my chef's telling me that.
Then I was like, I mean, like, mind you, I haven't had it since I was like 12. But
when you're a kid, it's got like.
It was like, this is amazing.
When I was in university, so what we do, there was 4 of us. It was me, my roommate Dave, another roommate Fusco, and my brother John. We'd go grocery shopping every other Monday, and we'd spend we'd get enough food to last 2 weeks. So we'd do 10 meals, 10 main dinners, and then everyone got their own snacks. But our bill was like $800 every time. But it's 2 weeks for people.
Yeah, it's not bad.
When you actually average it out, it's not bad. It's $200 for 2 weeks of food.
Yeah.
So we do so today we're doing pork chops. All right, so we got the pork chops. We took them out of the fridge. Okay, let's marinate them. grab like 3 mass of those like big size Ziploc bags. Okay, salt and pepper. Okay, Dave, what do we got in the fridge? Okay, Frank's Red Hot. Okay, let's throw some of that in there. You think balsamic vinegar goes with this? Let's try it today. Why not?
I hate
and then
that
you get
so
older, and then you
much.
realize like, okay, like you got a $20 piece of steak. You can't take your chances with
keep it
fucking
simple.
Frank's Red Hot, right? Like and that's when you know it's like okay, like oil.
Yeah,
Salt, pepper, and I use the pink Himalayan salt.
Nice.
I don't know if it makes a difference or not.
Yeah, it's good.
I just bought some what's it called?
Fleur de sel.
Nah, just bought some the other day
Nailed it.
for making.
What is it?
It's just like thicker.
It's like finishing salt.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
it's like salt bake kind of
yeah.
shit.
So like if you go to
Oh wait, sorry. Do you put it on the end or if you put
fleur de sel, you should use it at the end. I mean, if you're
Thank you
cooking
for
with
teaching me that.
if you were cooking with fleur de sel, I'm coming over
I
to your
did-
house.
no,
You, like that's
Now
balling.
you rich, eh?
No,
You balling. Just
I did.
What moment is that? That's a 26 minute.
I just bought it. I didn't use it yet. I actually bought it and I took it. So I actually bought it at Farm Boy.
yeah.
and I took it,
Farm boy. Shut up.
Like a rich, eh?
No, so well, I don't know how much salt this guy. I always buy my salt. Greeks are known for salt.
Yeah.
Sea salt, and I buy the big things at Costco, the Greek whatever. I don't know how much it costs, but and I guess whatever, like 5
Doesn't
times
even
there.
check the bill.
Mike's on my side.
It's a 3-pack at Costco. I don't fucking know what it costs, but I was at.
I spent $35 on salt.
No. My dad maybe. No, I don't spend that. But I went to. I was at Farm, but I saw it on the counter. I was at the butcher shop. They don't. The meat was whatever.
Yeah.
But I saw it. I was like, oh, this is cool. But I thought it was like I thought fleur de salt, whatever, is like
wait.
is for
So
like
this could be something different.
okay.
So there's
they call
like,
it that.
there's sel de Guerin, which
It's
is
not
like a Celtic gray sea salt.
Okay.
That's used for like if you're gonna cook it on a steak.
Oh.
Fleur de sel is what you put on after.
So that's the one it is. If I remember correctly when I read the label.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you go to
But
my
I
house,
haven't used it.
Yeah, you go to my house. There's I think I have like 9 different kinds of salt.
Really?
So yeah, like I've got like a
I
sea
think I
salt.
have like 3 or 4, but I'm not
Yeah.
at that level.
So what's the main difference? So obviously there's like
Well,
regular
like,
table
list,
salt.
List them first, ones you have. I guess.
Yeah, so like the ones that I have like a fine, just like Mediterranean style sea salt.
And that's your like put on everything.
yeah, like you use it for like salad dressing stuff
Yeah,
like that. Sel de Guerin, which is like a coarser gray Celtic sea salt that I use for like if I was gonna barbecue a steak, seasoning a broth. It's also like good for if you're doing like cleanses and stuff like that.
Wait, sorry, why is it good for cleanses?
It like apparently helps purify your system if you like dilute it in some water.
If you drink, so I know this, I heard a story about it. So salts, if you're doing like keto or fasting, you put salt in your water. If you put too much salt in your water, I don't know how the science works, but it basically like takes it out, not this side, the back side, so it flushes everything out.
Yeah.
So if you put salt in your water, don't put too much salt, or you're going to be stuck in the toilet.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I got that. I've got like a black volcanic salt that's like
That's the
a
rich
little
salt.
bit smoky. So like if you were finishing like you're doing like a ceviche, you could finish it with that and you get the little bit of smokiness on the fish. I used to work in a Mexican restaurant for like 4 years.
Because we're at 3.
Yeah. What else? I have a Malden salt, which is like a flaked sea salt, similar to Fleur de Sel. It's just a brand name. Then I have a like Cabernet infused. This was like a gift. I don't really.
Oh, this is the rich salt, eh? That's the rich salt.
Yeah, I don't know. But
You don't even know what it's for. He's like, it's fucking rich salt. That's it.
I just keep it in a dish. People come over. I'm like,
come over. I'm like, hey, look how rich I am.
Got 9
but yeah, I
salts.
think that's.
You got money. You got 9
funny,
salts.
man.
Yeah, you got that.
Today.
You got a salt for like every day of the week plus a couple extra if you're feeling.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is don't use table salt. I'll tell everybody.
Don't use it for like
Do
anything.
not. Yeah, iodized table salt. That's garbage. It's bad for you.
I
It
don't even know what salt
doesn't
is.
even taste like anything.
Yeah.
I know Elaine
Wait.
and Frank's, I got the nice pink salt. That's the Himalayan, right?
The Himalayan's really
Himalayan,
good.
yeah.
Like I have the Himalayan in just like a block.
You know what's
Yeah.
weird? I was literally just going to ask that. Do you have any salts that come in like a rock and you like
Yeah.
chip away at it or something?
Yeah, I mean like Himalayans used in like like you want to talk like fancy restaurants. Like you could take like say like a loin of like yellowfin tuna, slice it thin, lay it on the salt slab and serve it to somebody like that, and it'll actually season it from like sitting
Within.
on.
Don't they also do steak where they heat the block and they put it on top?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we ate or else I'd be starving right now. Just like talking about food like this.
Mental fortitude, brother.
I
haven't really eaten yet.
I have zero when it comes to food. Like, if I see it, I eat it. Even when I'm completely full,
I'm the
I
same.
still have to eat.
I'm the same.
We were at, I don't think I told this yet on the pod. We were at his house for Super Bowl. And I happened to show up on time because I think we were together. Yeah, we had a podcast.
Yeah.
So I happened to be one of the first people there. Well, they got the charcuterie board, like a grown-up party.
Yeah.
So I sit down.
I'm honest. That's one thing I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
Myself, my girlfriend as well. Like we like.
So you
we
moved
both
on
like
from like just bags of Doritos.
Yeah.
You come to a pre at my place before we go out.
Nah, I'm going to cheese boutique and get like 5 cheese.
Yeah,
I
there's
spend more on the cheese than he does on the pizza.
Yeah, I don't even bring pizza. It's like the one thing I always have is like I got nice ice cubes. You come to my condo, I got nice
free. It's water.
I got nice ice cubes.
Well,
no, because I got the nice big ones. Like people come to you like buy those like shit bags of ice and the like little crab ones. I got the nice cubes. Like, that's what you come to my condo. I always got cubes, but that's all. I didn't even have Chase.
That's the worst.
I didn't have Chase half the time. But I always have like booze and tequila, whatever. So we get to George's. So I sit down like pre-game. I'm just basically sitting at this table by myself. Oh, like charcuterie board. Let me have a piece of prosciutto. And I told you off air, prosciutto's my shit.
Yeah.
So I have a piece of prosciutto. Let me have you had prosciutto.
I don't remember. Anyways,
100% you did.
He's a rich guy.
Yeah.
No, someone probably brought it because I don't think I bought it because I was like trying to save money. I bought like a big like salami like in Costco and then I buy the prosciutto.
So I had some of this and I'm not a big cheese guy, but I'm like, it's there, whatever. Let me crack a little piece of cheese. Yeah. Well, then he's got the vegetable platter. Okay, let me have a little bit of vegetables. Then when you eat enough of the charcuterie board, it's been 10 minutes. I've been snacking on this. I had more than a plate already of this charcuterie. Yeah. Well, 20 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by, 4 minutes. People are already arriving. Nobody's eating it. Yeah. He's sitting right in front of me still. I haven't moved yet.
Yeah.
Let me grab another little of this. I think I finished more than half the charcuterie board myself.
Yeah, because by the time we made like pulled pork, like ribs, all this stuff, like nobody ate.
There's chicken wings.
Fucking ate. I'm like, guys, like we're here for the game's 5 hours long. Like, there's snacks.
Oh my God.
I had the chicken wings. I had the salad.
Chicken wings are terrible. Those are my worst wings. That might be one of the things that might be one thing that my dish that I make really, really well is chicken wings. Like they're not super hard, but the ones at Super Bowl sucked.
You did not do
I butchered them.
They weren't terrible. Just
chicken wings are one of those things that's like probably one of the most comfort foods for me.
Yeah,
for sure. And it's like you could go real bad with chicken wings.
What's your go-to chicken wing?
I mean, my restaurant.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, we just put some new wings on that are pretty fire. They're like a
Fire me up.
They're like a breaded wing. I'm not usually a breaded guy. Yeah, Union Chicken.
Okay.
Typically, what I do is I actually steam my wings first. So I do them like Korean style fried chicken.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But our fried chicken at Union Chicken is so popular that people wanted breaded wings. So like I basically just did our fried chicken as chicken wings, and they're pretty fire.
Wow. I'm more of like a St. Louis is grilled, right?
I think you have the option like grilled.
I don't go breaded often.
Really? I always go breaded.
No, because I think St. Louis are not standard. Like I also haven't
St. Louis.
I haven't eaten the wings at a lot of places, and I'm actually gonna go. I'll go to Union to try them because
I will say Duff's though. Like if
Duff's.
I'm like ordering, I order Duff's every once.
See,
in a
but
while.
I can't order chicken wings. I hate
it's terrible.
So like when you get delivery chicken wings, I don't know if it's because of the steam from the box.
Yeah.
It just honestly, I don't like ordering many foods from many places.
There's not a lot of food that travels. Like when we opened Amano, there was no takeout. Like we were like, it's pizza, and pizza is like probably the most common takeout food there is. And we were like, it's just not the same. So like we want you to eat it here.
Yeah.
Right. So it's tough because it's a pandemic and people want.
I know another pizza joint that did it as well. I won't mention them because it's not. We're talking about you here today, so I'm not gonna get a free plug. But I've heard that before. They don't because it's a certain way they want it. They don't want it to like turn out a certain way when it goes when it's delivered.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Oh shit! What was I gonna say? I forget the point I was gonna make. Anyways, not. What were you talking about? Oh, wings?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. No, they don't travel well because
sorry.
the box.
This I'm going to talk about this place because I have a bone to pick. I have made a point that and sorry if anyone likes Wild Wings, but I'll never order from Wild Wings again. I did it because they were there are a lot of around the area where I live, like a few of them.
Yeah.
Every time I've ordered, it usually wings they for some reason take longer. I don't know. It's like 40 to 50 minutes usually. Every time you order like a wing place on Uber Eats or something.
Yeah.
And I ordered from this place, Wilding, this one location.
I know exactly what you're
And
doing.
it took like 2 hours. I called. I was like, hey, like, is the food coming? It's been like an hour. They're like, oh, yeah, it's coming up. I'm like, okay, so it should be here in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Another 30. I'm like, hey, guys, like, is it coming? They're like, oh, the driver's here now. I was like, okay, first of all, you're lying, whatever. Then it arrives, and it's like, I'm talking ice cold. I'm like, this is, like, was it made in Sydney? That I don't even understand. So I was like, okay, never ordered from there again. Then I tried another one. I was like, give them the benefit of the doubt. There's one in the area. The same thing happened. And like, they also, like, wings are expensive. Wings aren't like, in terms of like what you're getting, I know it's like you get a pound of meat, but like, it's pretty,
it's a lot of
pretty
bone.
pricey. Pretty pricey. So anyways, if you order Wild Wing, good luck. I'm not going to.
Yeah, good luck.
Union Chicken is the only place I will go now.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, man.
Honestly, I have to go down because I'm kind of ashamed to say it. Like I've said before, I spent like time down there, but I'm always in and out for like work and moving.
Yeah.
I actually haven't eaten at many places in like the food court in Union Station. I think like I've gotten McDonald's one time. Like and there's some like, it's really cool what they did. A lot of like great places. Sure. You guys had some of the first there, which is
I mean, I think that's a big thing that people forget. Or maybe not forget, they just don't even know because it's so new. Like it's 4 years now, but like through the pandemic and all the construction, like I feel like most people in Toronto were like, Union Station, like I'm not going there. It's just it's a mess, right? But now they've done such a great job, and like there's still more development coming. But the way it's set up, like if you lived in I don't know, like Mississauga, and you were going to a Raptor game, you could literally hop on the GO train, go in, sit at the restaurant, have a fried chicken sandwich and a beer, and then walk to the game, go back, go into your car, and you probably never even need to wear a jacket because you don't even have to go outside.
I was literally just going to say, next time before we go to a game,
we'll go by.
We're going to go.
Yeah,
we go quite a bit.
Just let me know when you come
more
down.
than I do now, but yeah.
You got.
Well, because now games are back. I think as of March 1st, it's full capacity.
Full capacity, yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Regardless.
I mean, already it's back up to 50 at least.
Yeah, it's back up to 50 now. Starting, I think it was this week. I think started 50, or maybe it was last.
It was
week.
last Thursday. I think.
Because I think, and also you guys probably both know the answers. I think Union Station is one of the most high traffic areas. Like not even just like subway stations. Like one of the most high traffic areas in Canada.
Yeah, it's I think the busiest, right?
I think it's them. I don't remember if it's them or Pearson, but it might be them.
Yeah.
But it's like.
It's nuts, man.
Interchangeable, but yeah, it's a lot of people. Obviously now it's probably a lot slow. Well, maybe not now.
I mean, through the pandemic, it was eerie some days, like ghost town. But no, like before pandemic, pre-game, pre-concert, pre-any of that stuff, it was like it's bananas. Like it's like herding cattle, just like people running
crazy, and it's gonna get bigger and busier. And I think to your point, like it does still have probably that maybe preconceived notion, like people are rushing in and out, like no one's gonna stop. In Toronto, you're not used to sitting in like a subway station to eat a good meal, which is interesting because somewhere like New York City, somewhere like Tokyo, somewhere like all these big metropolitan cities. So I've actually and I know this because when I was traveling a lot, like I actually went into what's the one at in New York? What's it called? Grand Central. They have Shake Shack inside. They have pretty similar to like what we have now. This is going back a couple of years. Even like Tokyo on the subway station, like we were eating some the best sushi that I've had. And it's like you were lined up to get in.
Oh, 100%. Grand Central's got some high-end restaurants in the station. Like it's wild.
Is it Tokyo or where is it that has the Michelin Star pho place or not pho?
It's pronounced pho.
Whatever. Ramen Place.
I actually had this conversation today.
Really? Yeah. I hate saying it. I say pho. I feel like a kind of a bit of a
one of my
it's like Ibiza.
Yeah. One of my chefs, he's Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I was hanging out with my mom for family day, and she made me some pho." And I was like, "Is
that the right way to say it?"
I was like, "That's not how you say it." He's like, "No, I was just trying to translate for you." I was like,
"That's a good."
That's
Do you know what's funny though? But again, it's one of those words like Ibiza.
Yeah, Barcelona.
If you're in Spain,
you feel arrogant doing it, right?
Yeah, you're like, am I being an asshole?
Yeah.
Or like,
it's like
because we get you say fuck, we get it. You're cultured, you know,
you went to Ibiza. Yeah. Anyways,
the ramen place.
Ramen Place wasn't it in a subway station in Japan?
The place
in Tokyo. No, remember we were talking because we were gonna go to this Michelin star ramen.
Probably.
Like
I think it's after.
Oh yeah. I forget
it's like a
what
little.
it is.
It's a little hut or something.
Yeah. It's probably in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I think it's Japan. I don't know if it's Italy or France. I think France is the most Michelin stars, and then I think it's Japan after that.
I believe.
Like I had one of the best. I'll on that topic. The best meal. It's up for debate. Like that year I took and I traveled the world. I was like, near the end of it after I was done living that backpacker life, staying in hostels. I had buddies come meet me different places and like, okay, let's do some nice restaurants. I was fortunate to eat at I think a total of through the whole trip, like 3 or 4 Michelin star restaurants.
Damn.
One of them, honestly, one of them nearly bankrupted me. Like it was but
And then he went to 2 more. Man, I'm on fire this episode.
We get it.
I got some funny ones today.
One of the best meals that I've ever eaten still to this day was, I think it was called Sushi Masuda, if I'm not mistaken. It was in Tokyo. Yeah. And the chef that opened it was like 2 years old when he went. And if you watch, you ever seen Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
Yeah.
So if you watch that, the guy who's making doing the rice, his rice chef during that documentary, is I think it's Masuda. I might be mixing the name up with another place, but he's like Masuda. So he opened the Michelin star restaurant. The day he had opened, they got 2 Michelin stars, like straight to 2, like right away.
Amazing.
Not like insanely hard to do.
It's very hard. I guess I don't know for sure. Like
it is. It's like I mean, there's an argument to be made that like Michelin stars are what they used to be,
for sure.
But like to give you context, we have 0 in Canada.
That's actually what I actually want to ask you about that as well.
Yeah.
But just the story's not really important to wrap it up. It's like we ate there, and I thought that was my first, I think, Michelin star restaurant I went to. And my parents there went for my birthday, whatever. We went down. I was like, didn't know what to expect because you hear like Michelin star. It's gonna be very more like about the gastronomic experience, more about the show than the food. I can tell you, I've never been more like we couldn't finish the meal. Like it was just they would bring out the small plates, 2 pieces at a time, and it was like 20 pieces.
Oh yeah.
But it was how did we get on this point? Anyways, it was like the coolest experience that I've had, and I'd never seen like them so strict, so strict about how you have to eat it. You would have been kicked.
No,
out.
see, but that's what I was just going to say.
No,
because they put one thing on the dish.
No, like they'll put it, but here's the thing: it's sushi. They'll walk up and they'll like baste it in soy. Like don't dip it in the soy sauce.
Yeah.
But exactly. It's like it comes with like one little item on the plate. It's like that's how you're supposed to eat. You know what I mean? It's like my food all comes on the same plate, man. They want me to design my plate. Or else just give me one thing on plate. You know what? Like some steakhouses just give you the steak on the plate.
That's how they should.
You know, like Harbor 60. You know, you just get the steak.
Get the steak.
Everything's on the side. You go to the keg. It's all on one plate. Tell me why. Tell me why. Mike's got my back here. But anyway,
no. But speaking of sushi, have you guys been? I mean, it unfortunately closed recently. But did you ever go to Skippa?
Oh no, I heard. I have friends told me amazing things.
It's like
where was it?
So it was on Harvard, almost at Ossington.
Did it close down?
Yeah, I think he's gonna move to Japan.
Sorry, Harbor and Ossington?
Yeah.
It's like Dovercourt area, like that.
Yeah.
No, like Castellome area.
Doesn't Ossington run north and south? So does Harbor.
No, Harvard.
Oh, Harvard. Sorry.
Yeah. Harvard is by runs to like U of T.
Okay, I got you.
Like
but Ian, who ran it, his first kitchen job was working with me at Grand Electric. So I was the exec chef for Grand Electric for a while, and that was his first job in a kitchen. Colin, the owner of Grand Electric, hired him, and he worked his way up, and then worked for Sushi Kaji, and then went to Japan and all this stuff. But he does that. Like that was the whole experience. You sit at the sushi bar. He puts the sushi and he says dip or no dip, and you don't use chopsticks, you use your hand, and like it's a whole different experience.
You say he's moving to Japan now?
I think so. His wife's Japanese.
Oh, cool.
They just had a kid, I think like a year ago or 2 years ago. And he was like, last I heard, he was just like, if my food's good enough, it should be good enough for Japan. So
wow, good for him.
And he's like,
I respect that.
He's a white dude from Barbados. So
a white dude from Barbados making Japanese food in Japan.
Hold on, that's actually interesting because I'll never forget this episode. Have you seen Chef's Table?
Yeah.
You know the guy,
Ivan
from New York?
Yeah.
Ivan Ramen. Yeah,
he's a Jewish guy making ramen in Japan
and got a Michelin. Yeah, I think he was maybe one. I don't know if it was 1 or 3.
I think it's only 1.
1 Michelin star.
Three is like next.
Three's
to
the best, obviously.
Yeah. That 3's the highest.
And there's only like a handful of them in the world, isn't there?
There's again to your point, like it's different than it used to be. There's probably more today because like.
Are we talking hundreds or thousands?
No, like less than 100.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then 2 stars, there's maybe thousands. 1 star, there's tens of thousands.
No, I wouldn't say that many. No, not. It's
And,
Like, for example, there's 90s. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say. So like one, the classification typically is just you have amazing food. 2 is you have like exceptional service and the quality of the food is also amazing. 3 is like it's the most insane, amazing experience you've ever had.
Okay.
The problem is I think they lost relevance at some point back, like, early 2000s. And they've done a lot of things that I think are good just to like incorporate the way food culture was going in restaurants and dining out. So there's, things like a ramen restaurant that got 1 Michelin star. There's no service, so how does that equate for the typical way that you'd rate a restaurant for fair. Michelin stars? So that's like where I think they've changed the vibe up a lot.
And it was the whole Michelin star thing came from a Michelin salesman, right?
Michelin tires.
Yeah.
How far off your course you should drive to go get to this restaurant.
Yeah. Or like,
but it was a salesman, right? That started it.
That I don't know.
I think they just started with a guide. So like, if you were in this area, these were places you could go eat.
Yeah.
Which is like bananas.
Makes sense, man.
That it's like now, I don't know if you've seen the like documentaries about it, but there's a famous French chef that blew his brains out because he thought he was going to lose a Michelin star. To this day, they still have 3.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's wild.
There's a documentary on this? Like on the,
it's on the BBC. It's called Michelin, The Madness of Perfection. And it basically investigates like people losing stars, how you get a star, all of that. And this guy, he talks, and it's wild if you watch it, because like he has 3 stars. He gets a bad review, not by Michelin, by another paper, and there's speculation that he's going to lose a star. Grabs a shotgun, blows his brains out. His wife finds him. First thing she does in the documentary, she talks about this. She's like, picks up her phone, calls the sous chef, and he's like, "Hey, you got to come to work early. Like, chef just died." And they just like went on with service and like everything, because if they didn't, they would lose a star. Like,
the stars are that valuable. Eh?
It's like, I think takes you to a whole nother level, right?
But you can also speak this. I mean, I don't know this part of it and all that, but like the world of like cuisine and like cooking and owning restaurants, all that. It's
Wait, sorry. What was the second one? Hooking?
Cooking, I think it's.
Oh, I think you said
sorry.
hooking also.
My bad. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Maybe that's like, like shucking.
But the world of like, I guess.
There's a way to catch fish or something.
It's fine food.
Rich
It's like it is like a go like competitive, like, there's a lot of like.
Remember that movie? Bradley Cooper was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah, obviously.
Honestly, best chef movie of all. Just a quick tangent. Best movie that represents restaurants, in my opinion, Ratatouille.
Really?
It's so accurate. It's like
really?
like in a like fine dining restaurant. Like, that's where I started. That's like all of the positions, service, like a lot of it's like super accurate.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, where did you? Sorry,
Cartoon.
I was gonna say like the Bradley Cooper one too. Like, he had a lot of legit chefs that were like part of the making of that movie. So like it is pretty accurate. Like, whether you think it's a good
dramatized, but like
I mean,
probably
it's a little over the top. But like when I was like in kitchens when I was younger, it was like, it wasn't to that extreme, but like I've had shit thrown at me and like.
Well, yeah, and I've even because after that movie, I remember reading something because I thought the same thing. I was like, there's the one scene where the sous chef puts too much pepper.
Yeah,
on
he
the
doesn't
plate or
get
something.
him. He puts it on the spoon.
And I was like, no fucking way that actually happens. Like, really, people are this spiteful. Like, you wait for this exact moment years to do this.
Like that's.
And
a
then you
little
read it,
crazy.
you see like people on Reddit telling their stories of how like similar things happen to this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really famous story. I don't know if you know who Marco Pierre White is.
No.
But he's the guy that trained Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
So he at one point in time was the youngest chef with the most Michelin stars. Then I believe Gordon Ramsay took that reign over. He had a restaurant in England back in like, I think it was like this late 70s, early 80s, where he got like 3 Michelin stars. He was the youngest chef to ever do it. All this stuff. Mario Batali, who you probably know, and he's long gone now because of craziness. Yeah. He was a young cook working for him. He had just gotten back from Italy, and they were making a risotto, and Marco Pierre White said, put some cream in it. And he's like, absolutely fucking not. Like, I'm Italian. You're not putting cream in a risotto. And he said, absolutely, you're putting it in. They got in a big fight, and there's a demi-glace or a sauce that like takes a few days to make. Mario Batali took 2 handfuls of salt and said, go fuck yourself, threw him in the pot and walked out.
Come on.
Wow.
Like, this is like
it's a
Europe's a lot crazier, I'd say, than like Canada was. Like, we're all pretty nice. So like you know, it was pretty cutthroat and like whatever, but like my buddies that worked in Europe would be like, you know, you couldn't leave your station. Like you'd go to the bathroom. Chef always comes around in like the nice restaurants, checks your station, make sure you're ready for service. And like people would like sabotage you. You'd like close the lid on your fridge. You'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go for a smoke, have a smoke, come back. And there's like your shit's everywhere, because once you get fired, the person below you gets your job. They make more money. It's like,
that's crazy.
It's changed a lot in the last like 10, 15 years for sure.
I guess it's a shortcut to the top, right?
I guess, yeah.
Like,
back in those days,
try not to be like, you hate to say it, but it's like, I guess gone are the days where you work your way to the top. It's like, all right, well, if I can knock this guy out. I've been watching this guy for 6 months.
But that's what I was saying. Like it's like it feels like a very, maybe not like cutthroat is the right word, but it's like
I think
fast
it sounds
paced,
like the right word.
survival of the fittest. Like it's like a go. I mean, you know, we don't have to go into it, but it's a famous, obviously, you know, Matty Matheson, he's a famous chef, and you read like, you know, how he came up and all that, like that, even Bourdain, like you can hear stories about how that world is. I don't know if it's still the same. Like I can't speak to it.
I mean, I think there's been a lot more. Oh,
Oh, hey, Bax.
It's my girlfriend back. Welcome to the podcast.
But yeah, no, I think there's been a lot of really great strides to make the industry better and to be more aware of those sort of things. I still think we can go a long way, and like, you know, it's tough, right? You got to work. Like I remember I'd start work at 10 in the morning, finish at 1. Like what kind of life is that, right? Like people don't know what goes into sometimes what it takes to make their food, right? It's a hard business, but it's great business.
I was gonna ask where, like, so you mentioned earlier about when you got your start in fine dining. Where did you get your start?
At Splendido.
Right. Sorry. Okay.
Which was where Piano is now.
When did you start there?
So actually, the place I started was a restaurant called Oro that was at Yonge and Dundas on Elm Street, where like Barbarians is.
Okay.
It's a few doors down from that. At the time, it was like really, really high end restaurant. There I worked 8 months. So I didn't get paid. It was apprenticeship, right? So you pay your dues. Through that, I got my next job. That job got me my next job, and that's kind of the way it went, right? You bounce from one place to the other, and through your work ethic and putting your time in, people gave you opportunity.
So you never fucked up anybody's fridges or anything? No?
No, I wasn't that guy. I always help people out. That's why I said here, you know, we're nice. Yeah. We're nice in Canada.
One more question. Which stop along the way, before you guess, or even when you became your own kind of restaurateur and all that stuff, but what point along the way taught you the most, or which stop?
So it's tough. I think they all taught me different things. I'd say that the restaurant that really let me kind of know where I wanted to go and like what I was best at was I worked at the Black Hoof.
Oh, cool.
I was there for 2.5 years, and Jen and Grant, you know, I owe both of them a lot. They were both really, really good to me. And gave me a lot of opportunity, and like, you know, that was one of the first restaurants that I got to put a dish on the menu that I'd created. Wow.
What was the dish? Sorry.
It was I can't remember.
Man, your like first dish, you don't even remember, right?
No, I have so many in my head. No, it was a glazed pork belly with like apple mostarda, which is like a northern Italian thing, with like parsnip puree and stuff. It was like, honestly, it was I think Grant was like just throwing me one, being like, yeah, it's good, man. Like, you know, not that it was a bad dish, but he was just like, yeah, you know, go for it. But no, that was definitely I just loved what they were doing there. And it was such an iconic restaurant at the time. But like, you know, you could go back to Splendido when I worked there. My business partner now was the guy that owned it. So I worked there when I was 17, and now I'm 30. I don't know, 4 or 5. Wow. You know, now I'm business partners with this guy, and you know, he taught me a lot. I would say him specifically taught me a lot about front of house and about service. That was something like I always remember being a kid and seeing him walk through the dining room, like, you know, nice suit. He just like made you feel like you were special. That's what we talk about, like Michelin stars and that. This didn't have a Michelin star, but it was like super high end at the time, Splendido. And he just made him and his team, the front of house, and the food was incredible, but like the front of house was like exceptional. Like you felt like you were somebody, even if you weren't.
It really makes a difference. Sorry, Rick, I know you're not saying, but I think that is one of the most like food, like good food is obviously can be like an art form at times, like no 100%. Doubt about it, not taking away from it. But I think like the one of the big game changers too is the people that like there's good service and there's people that just understand how to make everyone feel like they're the only person in the world or only one in the restaurant or the only one that like they're the king of the world that day or whatever. Like I think that is truly a game changer and also elevates everything about it.
Yeah. And I think like that to me, like you're spending $200 a person on food before you're drinking, before tax, before tip. Like you should be treated like you're somebody special, right? Like that's your hard-earned money. Like, you know, yes, you want to be a nice person and tip well and do that, but like the person doing their job should hone their craft, right?
And you know what the biggest thing is in a lot of these like higher end places is when they explain the food and like the flavors and what you can expect. Or sometimes when you go somewhere and they recommend something and they're like, okay, what are you looking for? And you don't quite know what you're looking for, but then they just, well, you're looking for something sweet, savory, salty, blah, 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 blah. And then they just recommend that perfect dish. And as you're eating it, you're remembering what the server said, or you know when the chef comes out and talks to you. But
and then you're saying, "Fuck it, let me mash it all together." And
now I'm saying, "Oh, hey, gotta design it, right?" I'm like, man, Chef Mike told me to design it here.
Yeah. But
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, so that's honestly my wife and I. We go to Montreal often. My sister-in-law lives there, and our favorite restaurant is a restaurant called Maison Publique in Montreal.
Okay. Well, we might be going, so we'll make sure we're
honestly, I'll send you guys
Maison de la Publique.
I'll send you a bunch of contacts. Maison Publique.
Maison Publique.
Yeah. So you literally like we just sit at the bar. We don't order a thing. We just literally say, you know, we want a bottle of wine and we want like 4 to 5 dishes. The server talks us through it. We haven't even seen the menu. We don't know what we're getting. They just bring it out. And who's gonna know the food better than the people that work there?
Yeah.
Right? That's about the communication. That's about honing your craft.
Agreed.
Something that I love.
So. I wanted to ask, did you always know from when you were, 6 or 7 with your nonna, did you always know you wanted to be a chef? That's what you were born to do? No?
No.
You say yes, actually.
I always thought it was cool, but like I was the youngest kid, right? So like I didn't get to do anything. Like
I thought you were an only kid.
No, I was the only child with my family, with all the cousins when we were making pasta.
Yeah.
I was always the whipping boy, so like I got to do it, like I got to be a part of it, but I don't know. Like
you were
I grew
cleaning at the end.
Yeah. Like I grew up. I went to school. I played soccer. That was kind of. I never thought I'd be like pro, but I was like, oh yeah, maybe I could like play soccer, go to university. I was gonna be a history teacher. Yeah, it was weird. Like that was my ambition in life. It was
very far removed from that.
Yeah, very small ambition. No hate to history teachers. I just mean like I didn't dream of like any.
You don't
like,
hear
being
that
on
every
a
day,
podcast. Like I didn't.
I wanted to grow up and be a history teacher.
Yeah, but I hurt my knee when I was like in grade 10, and my grades started slipping.
Soccer career is gone.
Yeah, soccer career. I was like dreaming TFC TFC wasn't around those days, but. I was like, one day I'm gonna make it. And then I got a guidance counselor of mine was like, you're doing pretty bad in school. Like you should think about what you're gonna do. And I came from like working class parents. Like
where'd you grow up? Sorry,
Scarborough.
Okay.
Yeah. So my folks, worked a lot, and I always had that drive. And he was like, you should get into this trade program. And there was, you could be like a roofer, a mechanic, like all of these things. And one of them was cooking. And I was like, hey, like I always liked cooking when I was a kid. And then when I was in grade 12, I was working at Oro, getting college credits. And my aunt bought me a book called The French Laundry, which is a restaurant in California, in really famous 3-star Michelin. And I remember looking through the book, and it was about like, a few months before I started at Oro, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I didn't know you could do this with food. This is amazing. I was like just the intricacy and the plating and designing these bites, it was like, I was like, this is incredible. So then I showed up at Oro and I just was addicted. It was like the heat, the yelling, the screaming, the plating these amazing dishes. And like, I just was hooked. And then I actually gave it up for a bit, for like 6 months. I was like, I don't know if this is really for me, because the money was not great and the hours were really long. So I actually built cars. That's what like my mom's side of the family, they all work at Chrysler, which great job, good money. I went and did that, and I was like, there's something I hate worse than getting yelled at in the kitchen. So,
the assembly line.
Yeah. So then I got a job back in a kitchen, and then I never looked back. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And now Seven or
7.
wow.
Yeah.
I love how you have to think about that for a second.
It's pretty
hard
impressive.
to keep track right now with COVID and everything.
I don't know if this is a rude question. Which one's your favorite?
Oof.
And if that's a rude question, just tell me.
No, it's not. I mean, I think they all.
Like asking which one's your favorite.
Which was your
kid.
least favorite?
Yeah.
It's like which one's your favorite kid? Like I don't know if you can really
Well,
answer.
you can have like something could be your passion project, your baby.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I mean,
if we could like break it down that way, it's like I love them all, and they all gave me different things, and they all offer different things. This new Amano that we just opened with the pizza and all of that, I'd say that's like the restaurant that I've wanted to open for like 10 years. So I think I have like a special affection for it, and it's probably where I spend my most amount of my time these days. But like Union Chicken got me my start. That fried chicken sandwich that we do is probably the thing that I'm most known for these days. So, I got to show love there. And the Union Station location is just like bananas. It's amazing. And then like Amano, the Italian Kitchen version, which is the original Amano, where like I tried to do this food, but we're in a train station, so it was tough. That's like was the first place I was at. I was sleeping on the bar stools when we opened, just trying to get the place open. Like I got a lot of love poured in there. And then like we have a restaurant in Hamilton called Ray's, which is cool. Big, really, really great restaurant that took a lot of heart and dedication, and it's really good food. So
where in Hamilton is it?
James in Maine. Like right across from Jackson Square?
Yeah, we cleaned like a building. Literally on that corner. There's a bank on the corner there. CIBC, it's like one key.
Yeah. So you just go the like basically kitty corner.
Like a diagonal. I know exactly where it is.
There's that big
I'm going to go hit that one. I haven't been down there in a while.
Bread bar? You know where the bread bar is there?
I think so. I haven't been to that spot in maybe before the pandemic.
Well, you just let me know.
Yeah.
You're going to go.
I'm going to go hit the mall now.
Okay,
no, honestly, we're going to do Union Chicken for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's an easy one for us. We should do our next boys' night at Amano.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
We do like a month. We actually started doing it like this year because as we get older, like
this is the group chat where the terrible restaurants.
Okay.
So
you know what?
I want to know off camera.
This is actually a decent recommendation because we tried it. I can attest to it. We have a rule actually because like I've tried it as well, so I can attest to it. We don't let him make solo recommendations because if only he likes it, then we know it's not. You get
you're just gonna be mixing it up.
Actually, no. I was thinking about this. The new rule is now if the food comes served on its own dish, I won't mix it with anything. I promise. Perfect. If it comes with a couple different items, it's one bite. We start with one bite, and then we design the bite after.
There you go.
I love that. Yeah. Just another random note on that. I also like restaurants based on their bathrooms. Sometimes I'm like, I know this place has a really good bathroom. Like
it's honestly, it's not.
It's a weird
not the
thing.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing. But again,
I get impressed by like I often when I'm in a restaurant, I'll like be like, oh, is the bathroom clean? And like if you know the bathroom's clean, they're taking care of it. They're taking care of the rest of the place.
The kitchen.
As a cleaner, I'm very, very OCD about this. We do clean a lot of restaurants too, and like I very hyper aware. Like if I walk into a washroom and I'm like, this is dirty, I'm like, I cannot even imagine. Like, I mean, the kitchen probably gets treated very differently, but it's like, it's the little details that people, you might not 100%. See.
Those are the things that you don't notice, right? But if they don't notice it, else are they missing?
And it's one of the biggest things too. Like when I walk into a kitchen, like a lot of people, maybe they notice it, I don't know, but I always do it. My dad taught me this when I was young. He always looks at like door thresholds because like the grates, all that collect dust, but you also look up because if you look and see vents, and you'll see like a lot of vents are white in restaurants and they collect dust easily. So many restaurants you walk in, they might have the cleanest bathroom, and you look up and it looks like no one's dusted that vent for like months. Like, man, what are their vents like in the kitchen then that's blowing air out of the food and everything? And like, I'm not gonna name names, but you'd be surprised that like you can walk in a lot of restaurants and see that. Yeah, it's just an obvious thing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why like cleaning companies are a big thing.
Yeah.
Also, like especially nowadays, you get labor is a tough one these days.
Big time.
So if we can have the cooks focus on the food, and then we pay a company to come in, really do all the detail work, but then again, it's about follow up. You're checking the next day and making sure the cleaning company did the right job.
100%.
These are all like the little intricacies of running a restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not the fun stuff, but the stuff that matters.
The super like random, but lately, so I watch a lot of YouTube. It's like my go-to. Like we put it on like I don't know every morning. We're like put something on just to learn something new. I actually genuinely watch a lot of stuff from it. But lately, I've been on this like binge of watching either like Food Insider, Eater. Like there's all these different channels. Like the Vice, not Vice. There's a pizza show. I forget what's on. Maybe it's on Vice. Anyways,
Barstool.
Not Barstool. No, it's like anyways, it's one of them. But I'll put them on and I'll watch. And I've seen like there's all these restaurants that maybe don't get the love of like Chef's Table or like the magazine and all that stuff. And there are some people doing some like wild, crazy, different things out there. And actually, coincidentally enough, there was a guy I just saw recently. I forget his name, but he's a guy who. Do you remember the Italian guy in New York? Who was making like ravioli with like Dungeness crab and like some crazy stuff. It's a little small like hole in the wall in the basement. Tall guy. Anyways, I forget his name. I'm butchering the story. But he like it's an Italian place and he does a lot of pasta. And he went and lived, like he got his training, came up in like, I guess, Italy learning how to cook, and then went to Italy one day and was like, wow, it's amazing. And stayed there for like years, learned all these different like regional methods and brought it back. And it was anyways, really, really cool story. Kind of an irrelevant story.
No, on that note too though, have you ever seen Wilderness Cooking?
No.
So, George, have you seen it?
Buddy, let me tell you the shows that I watch on YouTube. Wilderness Cooking. We watch a guy. It's probably, I think, different than what you're talking about. The more like the ASMR, like chopping and cooking stuff.
No. Mine's the one I'm talking about. It's called Wilderness Cooking. It's this dude from Kazakhstan. He'll literally go catch his own meat. You don't watch him catch the meat unless it's fish. Then you see him catch the fish. But he catches his meat. And he lives in like actually the middle of nowhere, and he builds his own barbecues or his own smokers or his own whatever in the middle of nowhere, and then cooks the food out there. They're about like 15, 20 minutes each. Some of them you're literally like, wait, where's he going? And he's just got like he sets up a table in the middle of nowhere. He brings all his own things. He's got his like the craziest knife sets. And you'll see him with like a full lamb, and you're like, you don't watch him skin him.
There's like a fire in the back.
And there's a fire, but then he's like, okay, you see the fire, and then he's got a bowl of like random stuff, and then he just collects rocks, starts building his chimney or like a little smoker or something. You're like,
come on,
man, I'm gonna send you the link.
I'm gonna watch it.
So, randomly, I was on this is a COVID date, so I'm hanging out with this girl having some wine. I'm like, what do you watch on YouTube? My thing is Tiny Desk Concerts. That used to be my thing. She's like, have you ever watched Wilderness Cooking? I was like, not really. We're like, what is it? And she's like some sort of Eastern European. I'm like, sure, whatever. I'm up for it. I kid you not. We watched like 10 episodes.
YouTube is crazy.
You can get stuck there.
On that same topic, there's a guy. He's a Canadian guy from Toronto, I think. His name is Xander Budnick. I don't even know how I came across the channel. He is a guy who, like, I guess ventures to different parts of Northern Ontario on weekends, like vlogs basically. And he camps solo. And he'll do an episode where he goes with like just a backpack, a knife, an axe, and like a fishing reel. And then he'll do another one where he has like a tarp, another one where he kayaks for like 10 days. And he cooks meals in the woods that genuinely, they're not like, I would say restaurant quality, but they're quite impressive.
They look good,
he made a panzerotti, a steak,
Steak, onion, green pepper.
Like cooked it all in a pan, then made the dough. And I was like, it's cool because like he's genuinely by himself in these crazy, like beautiful places, which is freaky, but also really cool and like must be really peaceful. Mm-hmm. But then he does a pretty good, like decent job cooking for a guy with like a little cutting board on his lap and like a little pan. Like pretty good. Yeah, I'll send you that one.
We are starting to get to that point. So I did. Obviously, you have a lot, and we talked about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
What are you focusing on, or what's next? Or what's 2022 got in store for you?
I think the biggest things right now is, I think I mentioned this earlier, but we started a company called Chefdrop. In the pandemic, so that's a big one for me. It's like at-home meal kit deliveries from like top chefs, really, really cool products, and we're bringing some other places in like Montreal and Vancouver. That's a big one. And then the new Amano that we opened at 9 Church Street, I'd say that's probably where I'm spending most of my time these days. And through 2020, just really making sure that restaurant hits its potential. We're in Toronto Life for best pasta in the city.
Oh, wow.
And the top 20. So, just keep
what was that dish? Or just overall pasta?
No, it was a specific. So they picked like 20 dishes. We were, I think, 11th. It's tagliolini that we do at the restaurant. So fresh tagliolini made with a lot of egg yolks. So it's a really nice yellow dough. With fresh mussels. It's like a white wine sauce. Ooh. Super easy.
Fire.
Delicious. Like mussels, chili, garlic. Ooh. And then we do this molisa, which is like fried bread on top. Fresh parsley.
And sorry, to go back, what was the one with the cookie? The biscuit?
Oh, the Agnolotti di zucca. So that's also on the menu.
Because that's what that's gone next month.
It'll probably what month
We're February.
February, so probably like end of March.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go. Like Bex, we got a new date spot we're gonna go to.
I'll come.
No, we'll go with the boys. We're gonna.
I want to go too.
Wait, on a third.
I'll find a date. I'll find a date. Hello.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can find a date easily. So
I'll
we'll
make
do
a TikTok or something.
double date. We're gonna go soon. We'll actually we'll come very soon so we can try it. Yeah. There was I actually coincidentally too. I was on Blog Teal this morning, and it was on like the first. I popped up. It's like right in front there. I was like, wait, this sounds familiar. And then I like looked at like the notes. I was like, the same thing.
There you go.
That was cool. It was on the front page today. It was cool.
I love that.
Really good timing. Everything worked out.
Yeah.
Oh well, Mike, appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of fun. Very funny conversation.
Very funny.
Can't wait to try out some of your spots. If people want to find out more about you, the restaurants, where can they go? How can they find you?
Yeah, so my Instagram, Chef Mike Angeloni. I think it's Michael, actually. Sorry. And then just the restaurant websites like eatamano.com, unionchicken.com. You can find all of the stuff that we're doing, and Chefdrop. Get chefdrop.com.
Perfect. We'll make sure we tag everything in the show notes.
I actually have one question for you. I don't know if I asked this yet because there's been a lot of conversation. If you could eat at one restaurant, not your own, in Toronto.
In Toronto?
Yeah.
This is actually, I was in Narcity last week. They asked me what my favorite restaurant in Ontario is, and I said Imanishi Japanese Kitchen. It's on Dundas, pretty much at Dovercourt. It's like a Japanese izakaya, so like more like a pub style, but like lots of little dishes. Really great cocktails. It's honestly I think the most perfect restaurant in Toronto because you can go by yourself, you can go on a date, you can go with a bunch of people, and the food is incredible. Service is always amazing. Vibes always awesome. Wow. It's a small like little 25-seat spot, but that's my go-to right now for sure.
Okay, well then I'm gonna ask you favorite place you ever eaten in the world.
Oh,
is there one that stands out to you?
That's a tough one. There was. When I was running Grand Electric, the owners and I went down to Mexico, and we were in Oaxaca. There was a restaurant. It was a restaurant that we found just like on some internet site, whatever. We show up, and there was like a kid in the living room watching TV, and we were like, "Oh man, we're in the wrong place." And she's like, this woman comes out the back. She's like, "No, you're good." Sits us down, and she just like cooked for us out of her kitchen, and
She just didn't want to turn away the money. It wasn't a restaurant.
Yeah. I think it's up there for me just because it was a very eye-opening experience of food that I had never had. Like you're eating like crickets and all sorts of stuff that I had them before, but I didn't find them that delicious. And that lady's food that she was cooking, I was like, this is incredible. Wow. So it was really good. So that would be up there. I have like a list of like top 5, but we'll do that.
Save that for another time.
Again. This has been a blast, man. It's
Thank you guys.
We'll we're obviously gonna try them all in the very, very near future. So we'll let you know when we're around.
Anytime, and appreciate you bringing the pizza too.
Anytime.
Pizza.
Thanks.
Pizza. Guys, if you made it to the end, give Chef Mike a follow. Go check out his spots. Got to try the pasta with the biscuit.
Oh. Agnolotti di zucca.
Agnolotti di zucca.
Ask for it 3 times.
Yeah, check that out.
It's a mouthful.
Other than that, signing off, pals. Till next time.
Thanks, guys.
Right.
Cheers.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain, and I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high. Got a